All right. So this is conversations with creatives, innovators, interesting folks. And today I brought on my dear friend, Hannah Romanowsky, who I've known actually for decades. And I'm really excited to have a really fun, creative conversation with you today. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Josiah. I am so happy to be here and being able to connect with you because you're right. We've known each other for a long time.
A long time
Ah,
true. Dance and music, primarily in California. And it's been really fun to watch you develop your amazing artistry. Like when I first saw you and just knew you watching you on stage dancing, and I could
mm,
see your creativity, your fun, some of your just acting skills, for lack of a better word. And then it's just been so amazing to watch you develop doing this, like the nutritional with the salad master, you're these really fun commercials and these amazing like hostessing events that you're doing. And so I just thought it'd be really fun to kind of start there and just tell me like what have you been up to, and then we might work backwards to like where you came from.
okay, what have I been up to? Hmm. Well, thank you for the opportunity to share. A theme of my life is I like to do a lot of different things. As a dancer, I have relished for decades in stepping into and exploring and embodying dance and music from so many different cultural landscapes. And I have found them each to have their own unique medicine
Mm,
that have been very healing to me.
mm.
And I have transitioned into food. I still dance. I can never not dance. But food also is the source of nourishment. And I see it as a parallel and complementary healing art, like music and like movement, that is very ancient. It's probably the most ancient. This is how our ancestors communicated and healed and shared, and they imbued these embodied arts with spiritual wisdom. And so, exploring food and the different medicines of food from different parts of the world and how they each contribute to our nourishment on a sensual level, on a spiritual level, and on a physical level is is just so rich.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. I was just in agreement with you. Go on.
I feel very, very blessed and very grateful in my life to have had so much nourishment through music, through movement, through community, and all the color, both literal physical color in the beautiful costumes and regalia that you and I have explored in our dance and music training and background. And now I feel like I'm doing something very similar, creating these experiences of beauty, of art, of healing, of community, of joy and nourishment and fulfillment. But I have different props now. So instead of dance props and costumes, I have fruit and vegetables, and I have cookware. And I did grow up on the stage. I've been performing since I was 6 years old. I grew up doing musical theater and tap and ballet, and I moved into cultural dance, cultural dance exploration, especially Middle Eastern dance, when I was about 20. So I've done so many kinds of dance and I've experienced so many kinds of theater opportunities. It's very much part of who I am and how I express myself, and has been a, a companion in my healing journey. I'm very happy that I can use these skills now in this new iteration, in this new expression with food and with healing. Because for me, it's all about enrichment. It's all about healing ourselves, our bodies, our community, our world, and bringing beauty and life and vibrancy into our experiences. And food is such a way that we come together and bond and share and love. And to me, food has always been a love language. I've always liked to feed people. I didn't grow up in a home that was very food centric. We didn't have meals together. So perhaps there was that longing for that kind of nourishment that I that I've created in my own world and that I'm so happy to share, and that I'm a real advocate for, because it's something that we've lost touch with in this society. And just like we need to return to healing our relationship with the planet and our world, and part of that is biodiversity, we also need diversity in our diet, and we need to heal our relationship with our body, because what is happening out there around us in our environment is happening on the inside, and we've sadly lost touch with that. And it's amazing that people like you and so many others are doing such important work in this time to be really helping to usher us into a new paradigm, because that's what's necessary. And many of us feel it. In fact, I think all of us feel it that something is shifting, whether we want it to or not. And so this is a very powerful time that we're in, and we all have a part that we're playing in it. So I'm trying to do my little part.
Very nice. Wow. So tell us more like about what you part it is that you're doing right now. So I know all about it, but like, I mean, I know what I see, right? But tell us more.
Sure. Yeah. I think I better let my cat out because I hear him meowing. Just a
Okay,
moment.
go ahead. He's quite a cute little thing.
He is. Well, see.
All right.
Yes. So in 2019, I've been a career dancer for a long time, and I was looking for my what's next, and I really wanted to do something that was life enhancing. Really, I'm here to help people. I want to help people and bring joy and beauty, and in the process, of course, that is healing for myself as well. Well, I went to one of these salad master demonstrations. Actually, a dance colleague was presenting, and I knew right away that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to join this team. So what I do is work with a team of nutritionists, also acupuncturists, chiropractors, health coaches, and we're really about helping to make it easier for people to eat well. Now, Salad Master is a very practical set of tools. It's a cooking system that allows you to cook at a low heat in an airtight titanium vessel, which seals in the nutrients that are lost when we cook our food. And it cooks your food in half the time, and it's on the safest surface available, which is titanium. So it's a truly amazing cooking system. And I work with health practitioners who are trying to help others change their diet, people who are motivated, they have a health crisis they are struggling with, or they want to avoid a health crisis. And I teach them how to use this cooking system and provide resources for them. We provide free cooking classes for the community and coaching. So I love what I do because I get to help people get more food and nutrition and health and vibrancy in their lives. I love working with families, with busy families, with parents who want to feed their kids well but struggle. I this world that we live in is not conducive to the kind of healing diet and food and lifestyle that many of us are really in need of. So this is a tool. It's a very practical tool that makes it possible for people. And it gives me an opportunity to connect and inspire and empower people to return to viewing food as medicine, because healthcare begins in the home, and the cook is the primary care physician. That's what we truly believe.
I love that.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a great saying and the truth.
Hmm.
Hmm. So, okay, that sounds wonderful. Sounds like really like a great tool. And I love like the, kind of preface with it. So now when one of the reasons why I was so interested to bring you on with what I'd seen is because it seems
Hmm.
like you are doing this, but then with this twist of your this other aspect of the cultural dance and regions and the history that you know. So is that correct from what I've seen like on social media?
Why, yes.
So I just think like how many people have someone come and talk to them about a salad master that are also getting all these other kind of nights that you're presenting. So I'd love to hear more about it. I don't know what
You
this
bet.
is.
You bet. So I do something called, they're called dance and dish events.
Nice.
And because I love bringing in all of these elements, because the food and the music and the dance, these are all cultural expressions that happen together. And I have had a career of dancing in environments of celebration where there was always a lot of food and ritual happening around it. So they're very closely linked for me. And I love bringing those elements in together, because when it comes to dance, and why I love sharing cultural dance with people, is that they each have their own medicine, and they each provide more options for us. The more ways we have to move, the less stuck we get. And everybody needs a different kind of medicine. So so sharing the dance and the music from different cultures has always been something I've been very passionate about. You bring in the food, and it's another sense, more senses involved in the experience. And like the movement and the music, the food is related to a particular time and place and people. And so you bring in those flavors, like Moroccan flavors, or Persian flavors, or Turkish flavors, and you combine that with the experience of the dance and the music, and it's a very full, rich experience. So what I do is come and I'll prepare a meal from a particular region, and also educate not just about the flavors and the foods within that meal that might inspire people to make new combinations and try incorporating different spices and elements, but also about nutrition and how these traditional foods have historically been connected with healing and have been used for healing purposes.
Mm.
And I feel that that reminds us of the respect and the relationship that we've always had with food, I think, until the recent past, where we've really become disconnected. And having that kind of respect and relationship to what we're eating and what we're putting in our bodies, and being inspired by other times and places that had this different relationship with these foods, can be very powerful and inspiring and enlivening. And yeah, so I did during COVID, I did this online where I taught workshops, and people in their kitchens they would get the recipe ahead of time, and everybody would be cooking their meal in their kitchen, and I would be giving a lesson about the food and nutrition. And then while they ate the meal, I would change into regalia from the region and come and do a dance from that region. And then when they were done, we would have a little lesson. So it was just such a sweet
Amazing.
way to connect, especially since no one could travel and have this experience of other cultures. So, and it's nourishing on so many levels. There's the intellectual nourishment and interest and um, creativity that sparked, and uh, and of course the body, uh, and just the sense of connection. Remembering that sense of connection to other people, to people around the world, across the world and throughout time is so important because we all eat. And music is something, is the nourishment of the soul that speaks to all of us. It's something we all share, even though we have these unique expressions that are so beautiful in
Yeah.
themselves.
It makes me think of a few things. I mean, first of all, it's unique what you're doing because more often than not, we'll take a dance class or we'll watch a show and eat some food that's from that culture that someone else made, but to or have, go to an event and learn about the culture, but to bring all of that together in one is quite unique. And I feel like it's just what an embodying and holistic experience too, and also it's like you said, where a lot of these foods are historically are healing foods, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a chance that people who live in America, we might, if we don't know more, we just kind of know the whole healing foods of the different trends, or maybe like Chinese medicine. And there's many people, unfortunately, who they think of Afghanistan, they just think of the war, or they think of Persia, they don't even know. And so when you give them the opportunity to taste, feel, listen, move, and
Mm-hmm.
hear and see the culture, it's I just feel like it's everything you said, and it's just kind of revitalizing. It opens up like portals and worlds and realizations and respect for the cultures, and also that these other foods that they may have had in restaurants or what have you, they actually come from a tradition, from that central person in the kitchen with these healing qualities as well, through the spices, the way they're prepared, whether they're fermented or what have you. So I just feel like when you were saying that, I was just thinking about like the expansiveness that likely comes from what you're doing. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm thinking about the process of digestion itself, and also how it's not just what we eat, but what we absorb and what our body can metabolize. And these are all ways of absorbing and metabolizing and taking in other worldviews, other perspectives.
Right.
And because it's not just biodiversity, cultural diversity is important, spiritual diversity, diversity in our cultural creative expressions. And when these things are lost, it's to all of our detriment. So being able to expand and be able to hold space to absorb all these nutrients, because they're all different kinds of nutrients, is expanding and allows for more healing, more options, more choices.
Very nice. I love that. So have you found like people who have come to your events, do they keep coming back for more? Have you had people come and say, like, since then I went and researched this culture more? Like, what have you found through that digestion and nourishment? Like, what has sprouted from it, I guess, for yourself or for folks who've experienced it?
Mm. Well, the feedback I've gotten the most has certainly been, well, I didn't know that. Or that was so interesting. It was so interesting to learn that or hear that. And that in itself is so much because it just sparks curiosity and appreciation and an impulse for further exploration wherever that goes. Even if it just opens up a little bit one's perspective, then I feel my work is done. I
Absolutely.
mean, powerful in itself.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is truly about the fun and the joy and the beauty.
Well,
It's
that's what I was
not,
going to say. It's a
yeah.
memory. Like, how many people can say, for example, all the different places I've been around the world and the experiences I've had and the artistic friends I have, I don't know that I've had exactly that you've created.
Really?
Like, not exactly like that. I've had pieces and elements of it, right? So it's really
Mm-hmm.
is unique and a really cool memory that anyone
Mm-hmm.
that were to participate will go back with, like having this night of doing all, having you cook for them, teach them, and then come out and dance for them, and then teach them again, and just leave them with a great, colorful, well-nourished, like body and mind and spirit. I just think it's great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope that I can be in the same geographical place at some point to experience it. Are you still doing it? Is it?
Yes, things come up. Sometimes I'll do things that are in people's homes, and it's a smaller get together, which is very sweet and intimate. And but I've also done events at my friend's ballroom studio in Point Richmond, Hidden City Ballroom, and she has a kitchen on the stage. It's a converted church. So this is my dream spot. So we've had events with up to 100 people there, and I'll be cooking on the stage and come off of the stage and come perform in the middle of the beautiful church hall. So those are just wonderful, enlivening experiences, and I do look forward to doing more
Yeah.
of those. Mhm.
Wow. That sounds very, very cool.
Pardon.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
so then what are you doing with your nutrition aspect? Now you're developing, like I'm imagining it's mainly through food, right? But I don't know, tell us more about do you have that practice fully going or are you still in training?
I'm still in training, and because I work with a team of really powerful healers, for me, I have a particular um, task that in way that I'm interacting with people, and I certainly coach them and help them make dietary changes, but I also work with whatever practitioner they are working with.
Nice.
So I can be more hands-on with them. So at this time, I'm not doing a lot of one-on-one, in-depth coaching because there's just so many things to do, but that may develop later on.
Uh-huh.
I do enjoy group activities and working in groups and teaching and using my skill set as a performing artist and as a teacher to share information and to use the arts and dance and movement and fun and creativity and theater as teaching tools that also help again digest new information.
Very nice. I like that. I like the visual. So, what do you have going, like, what's on the forefront? What are you working on and getting excited about and manifesting? Do you have any projects that in your boiling pot?
Oh, yes, I have projects indeed. Well, one thing I'm doing is starting a monthly cooking class in Marin County. We had one a week ago, and it was a wonderful success. So that is going to be continuing into the year and an opportunity for people to get together. And I'm also going to be starting a monthly virtual gathering as well with around nutrition and being empowered in the kitchen, where people can, whatever concerns or troubles or issues they're having in the kitchen, whatever roadblocks that they're having to changing their diet or eating healthier or making lifestyle shifts, I'm available to help with that. So I'm looking forward to launching a virtual program that people can connect with me about that.
Wow.
And I'm also doing, I have a youth series that I'm launching for kids as well in the new year, and it's called Eat the Rainbow. And it's a 6-week series, and each week is focused on a different color of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and encouraging kids to have fun and eat healthy meals and the power of food and color in food, and so that they can start these habits at a young age, uh, understanding that food is nutrition, is medicine, and different colors of food provide different nutrients
Wow.
and flavor. So that's another project I'm doing. And then I'm continuing, of course, with my salad master presentations and demonstrations as well. And I'm teaching classes. I teach a few dance classes a week and doing dance and dish events and other performances in between. Yeah. But I'm available. Like I love working also because we're in the dance community, and I would really love to collaborate with more people in the dance community, whether it's dance events or things like this, to provide this element of food that's so much a part of the whole community experience of dance and music. So
So
I'm
what would
looking
that look
forward to
like?
it. Well, perhaps if it is a small dance event, then I could cater the event. I could also give a presentation that involves food, like actual a cook and talk about the food as well from the region. So those are some options.
Okay. Wow, that's good to know. And to
Yeah,
put it
who
out there
knows?
for
Who
anyone who,
knows?
as they listen, absolutely. That would be really great. When you were talking, I was just thinking, like, what does your kitchen look like and how has it transformed over the years? Like maybe pre-Salad Master, or maybe there's been a development through your own kitchen and cooking. Has it always been a rainbow, or has there been a transition?
No, no, my whole life has transformed. Well, you see, the salad master is a food processor, and it allows you to process a whole butternut squash
Mm.
in and all in a minute, and you can make noodles. So this has absolutely transformed my diet. It is so much easier to eat nutrient dense food. And it's nothing complicated. You just use the cookware, which preserves the nutrition. The food is more nutritionally dense. And this Salad Master food processor, which is amazing. And it's mesmerizing. People watch it in action and the whole room goes quiet. So that in itself is a great performance prop. It's my new favorite prop.
Well, that's saying something, I think, because I think you dance with just about every prop I've seen.
Right. I mean, I've danced with tea trays on my head, and now I dance with pots and pans on my head. I'm wielding my cucumber.
There must be more video than I've seen. I'd love to see more. That just sounds,
It's those inspired moments of live performance that you just can't.
yeah, you can't capture. They are in the moment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But more to come. I really love doing video work. And I've been so busy with so many things, I haven't been able to make the time to do some lately. But if you would like to know what my secret wish and desire is I want a cooking show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So more to come. We'll just have to we'll wait and see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I would love to travel the world and explore dance and culture and music from different parts of the world.
I
And
see a Netflix series. Let's
I know, right?
they just need to know you who you are, and they'll ask you.
Exactly.
I think so. They're yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I can see it.
There's lots of travel cooking shows, but how many of them are dancing
Well,
while
they
they're
might
cooking?
dance here and there in the kitchen, but none are like a dancer. And you know how it is when you travel around the world. Like whenever I've been to any country and I've just shown interest in
Hmm.
their culture, they're so pleased and so open armed. And then if they see that I can dance or I'm attempting to dance their style, then
Yeah.
their heart and arms open even further. And
Oh,
so I've experienced that time and time again. And I'm sure you have too, which only leads me to
absolutely.
believe that a show that would do that,
Hmm.
would really, really be well received from both ends. As long as
Mm.
the people, everything stayed with respect, which of course you would just always need to be careful of the network.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like
Well, who need these days, who needs a network when there's
you're
social media, right?
hey, you know what? You're so right about that. You're so right. I love that vision.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I support that
Yeah.
a hundred
Thanks.
percent.
I have to make a little space for it. You know how it goes,
Yeah, right.
uh,
I can see it.
but
Yeah.
right. And what you said about how people just open up when you're moving, you're attempting to move like them and connect on that level. It's a reminder that less than 10% of communication is verbal. So words are powerful and stories are powerful, but my goodness, the body and moving and your tone, which is it's like the music of your voice.
Mm.
That's where that's where it's at. That's where most communication happens. So I think you are right. It's really powerful to attempt to take on movement from a different perspective, a different worldview, a different way of being in the world. And there's so much unspoken wisdom to be gained from that that
Mm.
is hard to put into words, but it's felt on a bodily level. And
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
able to connect with someone through movement and through the body, yeah, that's powerful.
It is. And when you say that, it reminds me of the experience that I had, continue to have when I've been in different countries for long enough where I had to learn the customs and the language and, often had to, cook the way they do and use the bathroom the way they do, all of those things.
Hmm.
Um, it was like it was another version of myself being grown up, raised. I was raised again. I had to learn it from a baby, from babyhood, how to speak. Mine, mother, milk, please, thank you. Don't use that hand, use this hand. This is how we shake. This is where the eyes go and don't go. Right. And so there's all of that learning, and it includes what we eat, how we shop, how we get our food, how the markets are. And I mean, all of that is I don't remember how I was trying to relate that to what you were saying, but that was, oh, just how you were saying so much of our experience of and how we communicate is through body and all of that. And I just feel like it's also the opposite, that we communicate based off of what our experience has been. So
Mm.
for example, when I was in people told me that when I spoke in Turkish that I seemed like a completely different person. And I
Interesting.
realized that it was because I was speaking from the way I was raised there. I was raised to speak to your elders in a certain way, use a certain tone, use your eyes a certain way, right? I speak much
Yeah.
higher when I speak in Turkish than when I speak in English. I use
Ah,
my hands differently, everything.
that
So
that makes sense, and that's
does it,
beautiful, right?
right?
Because it's not just the words. That's actually not, that's just a part of it.
Hmm.
It's all the other communication that's happening.
Yeah. In fact, I did
Yeah.
another one of these conversations with Ernesto Sanchez, who's an amazing artist in Point Reyes. He's got his
Mm,
art studio there. And we've been talking about the mask movement that he does and the subconscious and how, mask work and dance work and subconscious and culture audience, just really cool conversation. It'll be up online in a few
wonderful.
months.
Huh.
And we were talking about how um I just lost my train of thought. That's where circling around, just thinking about movement, how we express ourselves. We'll have to move on. We'll come back to
Oh,
it.
they'll pop up.
Well, got so excited about the whole how we're raised and how we move thing. I lost that train of thought.
Yeah.
So
Hmm. It's a deep, there's a lot there. So
yeah.
I'm just thinking about that.
Mm.
And especially, or my experience at least, in this culture with my family and the certain prohibitions against certain kinds of movement,
Mm.
or how we're supposed to behave. I mean, I was raised in a particular environment, um, that my interest in other forms of dance, especially from the Middle East, was very much in response to my early childhood experience, where the body was really constricted and the options were limited. And when the body feels limited and constricted, the mind is also limited and constricted, and the heart is limited and constricted. So from a young age, I felt this impulse to want to move my body. And my experience learning Middle Eastern dance, where you have these undulations and these shakes and vibrations and rolls that are allowing, again, we're talking about digestion, they're allowing emotions to digest and process through your body, was extremely healing for me.
Mm.
Took me out of a stuckness that I was, intuitively, I did not want to go there. And I was grateful for myself to that I live in a time and place where I was able to find these resources. And of course, it started with our teacher, Katerina Berta, and what an incredible gift she gave me and gave so many of us. And I always return to that because it's these formative experiences that guide us through life and motivate how we are and what's important to us. And as you know, I founded and ran a youth dance program, Danceversity, for many years. And it was really with that guiding value that I wanted children to be able to experience other cultures through their music and dance, not only because it expanded their sense of self in the world, but also it expanded their sense of self in their body. And it could lead to less constriction and more options in their lives.
Yeah, it gave them these kind of other spaces that our culture doesn't give, that you can
Mhm.
explore, like is like a container. I feel like when we learn these various cultures, and I think this is something of what I was trying to say, but when we have these different cultures that we move into, there are these containers to see how we can grow into that one. Like from
Hmm.
that, it's like, okay, now you're contained in this kind of movement form with
Yeah.
this kind of maybe even costuming sometimes, but then you can grow so much in that way. Okay, now this one is a little bit like this and this, and
Yeah.
okay, then you just grow and expand in ways that so I feel like when with your organization there, you gave them a lot of containers to then expand into, which
Hmm.
we have, kind of one in America. But our big container here in America is that we have options for all these other little containers.
I
There's so much,
do.
there's so much biodiversity that you can. But if you don't have that experience, then you just grow in this one way where we
Hmm.
don't really dance in the living rooms as much. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, some cultures within America do, but yeah, there's definitely um, that ability to kind of go, okay, now we're gonna listen to this music that moves you in this way, where there's these certain movements. It gives you a structure,
Hmm.
which is really nice.
Yeah,
It is.
I love just that the image you brought up of just these containers that we're in this container, because it's true, because what these are doing is they're changing the space.
Yeah.
They're changing the kind of almost the metaphysical room that we're in. And there are certain there's a container.
Yeah.
There's a very specific container that these things are occurring in, that we are participating in because we're in that container. And what a powerful experience.
Yeah.
And I think performers experience that in a certain way, as do audience members,
Mhm.
where experiencing a performance, whether it's on a proscenium stage or in a small theater or even a bar or a club or a living room, they create this ritual space that everyone's participating in. And
Love that you bring that up. Go ahead. I'll continue.
yeah, yeah, and we need more of those.
I agree.
And there's different ways that they can happen. So any opportunity to create that space and different ways of creating that space is enhancing and something I personally am very passionate about promoting.
Yeah, I love that. Makes me think of that's another thing which is always good to cultivate is, how to be a good audience member, and how to be a good follower,
Mhm.
especially in these times where everyone wants to be a leader and are looking for followers. It's like there is a gift in being a follower. There's a gift in commenting on someone, not just trying to get comments. There's a gift in following. Now, I don't mean social media following, right? I just mean like if someone is leading something, to follow them is just as beautiful as being a follower and leading them, if the intent is good. If it's bad, then there's going to be some bizarre consequences, but you know that there is that sense of that audience member and that participation, that performance, the way I feel about it. And it's the same with meals too. It's like when you prepare and you offer, and then when you get that response back, it's like that feeds and then creates this thing. Like in Turkey, for example, they have you know just really nice sort of like, the cook will say afiyet olsun, like a bon appetit, and then you respond to elinize sağlık, health to your hands, you know
Uh-huh.
and like there are these various ways to like give back to the one who cooks food for you,
Mm.
or even the one who offers you something. There's always kind of like this offering back, which I also just feel like to have an experience where someone is performing for you and you also feel comfortable to like give them it back instead of just being like a part to, just kind of watching, is also like a healthy digestion. That's a really healthy system of like movement, digestion, nutrition, and like full like give and take like this, you
Right,
know?
there's an interaction and participation happening.
And it's not
Yeah,
stagnant. It's very like life, which is
right.
very much the vibrant food and is very much the good digestion. And so I
Yeah.
love, I mean, that's, I love so much that you're doing it. And I hope that it gets out more and more out into, you know, the screens, which is how we often see each other, but that also, um, you know, just out in public, because I just
Mm.
think what you're doing is so great. And I feel like it's the,
Aw.
um, I don't know, like modernized, hybridized, culturally hybridized, you know, Tupperware party. It's just like, it's the best next level, you know, it just, you
Awesome.
know, it's just the best next level of it. And so, yeah,
Well, I feel so grateful that we live in a time and place where we can bring together all of these healing arts and all of these resources and be connected to so many incredible people that are doing good work, amazing work, and be able to support and uplift them and also take inspiration and creativity. And it's a really vibrant time that we are in. And I really uh, salute you, Josiah, too, for all the work that you are doing. It's really just exciting and wonderful to see all the things that you are up to.
thank you.
And happy to be on this journey with you
Yeah,
in
me
our own
too.
ways.
I'm really
Yeah.
glad that you said yes today, and I'm sure there'll be a part two as things develop. Um, you know, and I already just can see in my art, my heart eye and my mind's eye, you across the country, across the world, doing these cooking shows with the dance. Like I see it as clear as day. So I just
Thank you for holding that
it
for
came
me.
absolutely it's just there like without me even trying. It's just so there, so it's amazing. And so before we go, I'm gonna put all your information that you give me in the, you know, thing down below in YouTube so anyone can see it, but just will you tell us where people can find you, and then I'll also write it down.
Absolutely. My website is hannahromanowski.com. Yeah, Romanowski with a Y. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. All
I'm
right.
also, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn as well. But
Okay.
yeah, reach out to me. I'd
All
love
right.
to hear from anyone that's interested in just having a conversation about any of these topics. It's always inspiring and enlightening. And so reach out. I'd love to connect.
Perfect. Okay. Sounds great. Well, thank you so much for today or tonight. It was really, really wonderful. And
Thank
I
you,
look forward
Jose.
to the next one that we have.
Me too. Yeah, yeah. Check back in because who knows what I'll be up to in 6 months. I can't wait to find
Exactly.
out.
Okay. We'll schedule a check in. All
Okay.
right. Until then.
Until then.
All right. Bye. Mwah.
Bye.